Hi and welcome to part 3 of games published by Codemasters for the Commodore Amiga. I've got more great games, including one that put Codemasters on the map, and a game developed by one of my favourite publishers on the Amiga that I didn't even know existed. So let's take a look. Italia 1990. You can have up to 4 players in this budget football game. You've got 8 teams to compete against, and there is also a circuit training mode, including 100 meters and weightlifting. It's a slow but great budget game for its time. Kamakazi. This was released in 1990. This is a great top-down shoot 'em up with a difference. Your goal is to destroy the enemy planes, and to keep an eye out for the planes carrying dynamite. So you can collect it, and you can use it then to crash through the gates at the end of the level and rescue the hostages. This is a great little shoot 'em up. Little Puff in Dragonland, released in 1989. You play the role as Puff, a little dragon who decides to go on an adventure beyond his own home in Dragonland. Unfortunately, he is lost, and now it's your job to get him home. To do this, you need to solve puzzles, avoiding traps and so on, and to find all 4 parts of the past, so you can get him back to Dragonland. This is a great game, and I still own my original on a Commodore 64. NoMem Machine, released in 1991. NoMem Machine's a top-down racer with difference, because it's a battle car game. You're armed with missiles and so on, and your goal is to win the race and fire missiles at your opponents to keep them behind you. It's a fun game for its time and great for a budget title. Now this next game is one I mentioned at the start. I didn't know it existed. This is an early game that is by Team 7, Miami Chase. Yep, this is Team 17's early works. I ain't a bad game either. It's like a top-down Chase HQ game, and your goal in this is to get rid of all the criminals in the city by chasing them down. Ain't a bad game at all. The controls are a little bit fiddly, but it's one thing I do like is that intro. This next game doesn't need an introduction, but this is Micro Machines on the Commodore Amiga, released in 1993. This was the only Micro Machines game ever to be released on the system, and it's a fantastic game too, because back then Micro Machine toys were all the rage, and you just couldn't get enough of them. So Codemasters capitalised on it and got the license, and what a game this is. Top-down racing at its finest. You got different courses in it, and that's including snooker tables and bathtubs, and you got different game modes. It's got different vehicles throughout for you to collect as well, and on top of that as well, it's even better in 2-player mode. It's just a shame that Codemasters never released a sequel on the Amiga. MiG-29, Soviet fighter, released in 1990. The best way I can explain this game, it's just like Afterburner. You fly your way through each level, destroying all the enemy fighters, and refueling as you go. It's a bit sluggish to play, to be honest with you. But then again, Afterburner was a full price game, and that was just as bad. But I love the Afterburner games anyway. So, if you like that style of game on the Amiga, then certainly give this one a try. Nitro Boost, released in 1989. In this game you take a role as a stuntman, who has to drive through 5 dangerous film scenes. This is a top-down game, and your goal is to shoot your way through each level, and so on. It's a bit sluggish to play, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't know what I was doing at first. But yeah, it's a fun budget title, this one. Pro Boxing Simulator, released in 1991. Now in this game it's slightly different than what it is on the 8-bit version. In the 8-bit version you got kicks and all sorts going on. But this one is realistic. Where I mean realistic, it follows the WBA rules. So there's no kicking and that involved. It's a fun game. It's not the best fighting game on the Amiga, but it ain't a bad game at all, especially if you only spent a couple of pounds on it. Pro Powerboat Simulator. This was released in 1990. This is a top-down speedboat racing game, as you can see. In a bad way either. Your goal is to keep racing your way through, avoiding obstacles, using ramps to jump bridges and so on. It's a fun game, and it's even better in 2 players. A bit of tennis action now, and this is Pro Tennis Simulator, and this was released in 1990. This is a fun tennis game for you to try. It's got nice graphics, it's got great gameplay too. It can be a little bit frustrating on times, but yeah, that's what tennis is all about. This is a game you need to try if you like a tennis game on the system. Pub Trivia Simulator, and this was released in 1989. This is a great trivia game. It's very well presented with the graphics, and it's great fun too. If you're not from this era, you might struggle with some of the questions, but yeah, great fun if you got friends over for a couple of drinks. Platformer game now, and this is the Quest Our Gravan, released in 1992. And as far as I'm aware, this was only ever released on the Commodore Amiga. Bit similar to Ghosts and Goblins, but instead of scrolling across the screen, you're scrolling up. And your goal is to climb up each level and make it to the exit. It's a nice looking game, got lovely graphics, great music as well. Yeah, give this one a try and see what you think. Robin Hood, Legend Quest, released in 1992, and this game was designed by the Oliver twins. In this game, as you can see, it's very similar to Gods, because obviously he was inspired by it, and it ain't a bad game either. Only issue I got with it though, is that the scrolling ain't the best, but it's still fun, and Alistair Brimbow's music as well on the intro is certainly memorable.
A Rockstar ate my hamster.
So we reach our final game in part 3, and this is Rockstar ate My Armstrong, and this was released in 1989. Now this is a mad looking game, but it's great fun. You play the role as a wannabe Rockstar manager, and at the start you got a choice of 4 different Rockstars, and your goal is simple: to get them trained up as singers, make albums, do tours and so on. This is a great game and very original. Well, that's it for this part. Thank you for watching, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you all in the final part of Codemasters games published on a Commodore Amiga. Bye for now.